On a more serious note, it wouldn't be a true culture discussion if we really didn't address the state of our union. In 2014, we learned that even with our hands up, we can still get shot. And even with the black president in office, racism and colorism still exist. So instead of talking about the details of each case that happened between Mike Brown and Eric Gardner, instead of asking what happened, I want each of us to kind of discuss how as a unit, as a whole, as a society, as culture, we can move forward in 2015 and beyond. We also have Tracy A. Jones, who is the founder of Fam First Athletics. So please give a hand clap to him. Okay, so who wants to start us off?
I think and I appreciate you guys include me in the panel for today, but we love our entertainment side of the world and we love to have fun, but on a serious note, we kind of dropped the ball in other arenas of life. And one thing that unfortunately I can see a trend, and it was a bad trend, is we had a black president that was elected in 2008. I remember being at Widener University. President Obama, one of his last trips before the election week was at my school. And I remember sitting out at 2 o'clock in the morning, waiting in line to, in the rain and in the cold, just waiting to hear him speak. And he promised us a vision of change, a vision of hope. And in 2008, we took that vision of change and that hope, and we left it there. And what happens is, we had the black president, I think we got complacent to a certain extent. And unfortunately, history is repeating itself with our recent string of incidents with police brutality and some of the other events that are affecting our communities. But it starts with us. And a lot of change that occurred through the civil rights movement, through any movement, started with the young people. Malcolm X, Martin Luther didn't have social media, and they were able to motivate millions. We have social media, we can't even get 5 to come out to a day of service.
Just to piggyback off of what you said as far as like entertainment and how it really, affects the youth, like how we do in our fraternity, we kind of sit down with these youth and tell them there's more to the videos and the video games and just the streets. There's more to life than that. So we kind of mentor them and help them out with their homework and applications for colleges and schools and stuff like that. So it's really going to take our youth to kind of bring in a new breed and change reality.
Yeah, I agree because I work with kids, and for me, I feel like they have to be the focus at all times, which is why the lack of balance in music is an issue for me. I just feel as if it should be used, certain situations like this should be used as teaching tools. Hopefully for every negative action that takes place, we can counter it with a positive. And I read this article recently with Pharrell Williams, and he was in Ebony magazine, and he stated that we can open up a school or teach a child for every time something like this takes place. Because he said that nobody has really touched on, like Mike Brown, the fact that he was in the I wasn't about to say bodega, but in the store, and how aggressive he was with the guy that worked there. And it's like, how did he reach that point in his life? Because he was very young. And so it's just like, we gotta focus on the kids and their mind states and what they're being exposed to. And if we start with the children and plant as many seeds as we possibly can, eventually over time the culture will change, because we're developing minds, we're developing people.
Right. No, sorry to cut you off, but I completely agree to that. It starts young. It starts in the home. It starts with 5, 6, 7 in the schools or at home in the communities. But I think somewhere we need to get back to where community really mattered, to where it was okay, to where if grandma, told another kid to, hey, don't do that, then grandma wouldn't get beat up on the subway. That's what I think that we need to go back to, is that community love, that self-love that is taught in the home, and if it's not in the home, then in the school system and education.
I just wanted to touch on one point that DJ Paper said. There's other cultures that listen to our music, that hip hop, that gritty, that ratchet. I mean, I look at myself I consider myself an educated person, but I'm still able to listen to that ratchet, however, decipher to know that this isn't how I live my life. And right now, when you get back to a point that was made earlier, when you're planting those seeds, you want to be able to distinguish who's really telling the story of something you want to follow versus a life that is, or a lie that's being told. I know for a fact that rapper put in a position is not going to go shoot nobody just so he can lose his life. And the kids have to realize that 2 years ago, and a lot of people, I lived in Center City for 3 years, and Chief Keef was, during my time in Center City, Philadelphia, Chief Keef was running rampant in Chicago talking about 300. And as a volunteer and through my organization, seeing some of the kids that I was working with, they're reciting these Chief Keef lyrics, not knowing what these lyrics mean. And when you hear bang bang, they want to reenact that in life, where I hear certain type of music, I get motivated to, or the beat is just nice so I can really work out. And what's key to planting those seeds is allowing kids to decipher the message behind the music.
I feel entertainment as a whole is just lacking certain just morals and principles that were being taught, because at one point in time we had a guideline. I've stated this to you before, with from the Cosby Show to A Different World to Living Single, you had different things on television that kind of gave you a path at least to follow. We lack that as a whole.
This is why I said Kanye killed, because I think he called it. I think he said it was a classism issue and a racism issue, and people thought he was crazy. And now you look at the string of events and it's like, oh shit. So I don't know if I can say it, like, oh damn, like I didn't even see it coming, but he saw it coming. And it's not an entertainment issue. It's an issue that we're waiting for somebody to lead us when we should be the ones leading. I think now, using social media, these kids out here every night, currently, in Grand Central and in pink houses in Brooklyn and in Union Square, they're realizing that we have the power, and it's time to shut this down. It's time to stop waiting for Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. Al Sharpton was there when James Brown died. Did he do something? Jesse Jackson was there when Martin Luther King died. Did he do something? Now it's like, what are we going to do? It's time for us to get out here and back in the community and stop waiting for somebody to take charge of it. Have you joined the protest? Have you joined a food bank? Things like that. We need to stop waiting for other people and get involved ourselves. And I'm not speaking from the point of an artist, I'm speaking from the point of a person.